Vince McMahon was truly out of touch at the end of his run as WWE CEO and chairman. And it's not what you think, because there was a recent report that was absolutely mind-boggling, and it made most people's heads explode when they read it. It put a spotlight on the realities of this crazy man and his ideas that were truly insane towards the end. Because we all know that WWE and his creative at the end absolutely sucked. But did you know how bad it got? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now, before we get into that, let's look at McMahon's end of tenure. Now, Vince McMahon, he departed from WWE, and it was a complex and controversial end to a long and influential career. I mean, he built an empire for himself. So what were these things that transpired? Well, in June of 2022, he stepped down as CEO and chairman of WWE and missed an investigation into allegations of misconduct, including a reported affair with an employee and hush money payments. Now, his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan were then appointed co-CEOs of WWE. Fast forward about 7 months, in January of 2023, McMahon returned to WWE as the executive chairman to oversee the sale of the company. It was a monumental move. It later led to WWE merging with the UFC under the Endeavor Group Holdings, formerly TKO Group Holdings. Now, McMahon, he retained a significant stake in the new company, but he was not the most influential shareholder and did not have all the voting rights that he once did. Now, in January of 2024, things came to a crushing end for McMahon because he resigned from the company amid a lawsuit alleging sexual misconduct and sex trafficking from former WWE employee Janelle Grant. Now, this marked a definitive end to his official involvement with WWE. He's never coming back. It is done. It is over. It is finished. Now, that's where things get picking up and very, very interesting. And before we get into that, let me ask y'all a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe button for more wrestling content. Now, back to the story. Because the 2022 WWE Royal Rumble, it was a drama-filled show behind the scenes, whether that's due to frustration with the women's Royal Rumble match, which we're going to be talking about, or Vince McMahon making various changes, and Shane McMahon trying to make the men's Royal Rumble match all about him. Now, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select had some very interesting details about the event, because well-respected producer TJ Wilson, he stepped away from the event's production before the event. Sources told Fightful that Vince's vision for this match was so crazy that collaborating with him was difficult. This, among other factors, contributed to Wilson's absence. Here's where things get more interesting. Per the report, McMahon suggested Ronda Rousey eliminate the entire field in her first match in over 2.5 years. McMahon was reportedly adamant about the idea that Ronda Rousey was going to be doing this in this match because she was going to be doing a full-time schedule for 2022. Now, WWE obviously opted against this idea, and instead they had Ronda Rousey return, enter at number 28, last 10 minutes, and eliminate 4 competitors, and winning. All right. Now, many other pitches had Sasha Banks, a.k.a. Mercedes Moné, as the winner. Now, further frustration stemmed from McMahon's handling of numerous cameos in this match. He reportedly instructed them to get in and get out, resulting in extremely short appearances for Summer Rae, Sarah Logan, Cameron, Kelly Melina, Molly Holly, Ivory, who spent less than a minute in the ring. Now, that is that report. I want to say this. This man is truly out of his mind. Okay? We know that he's out of his mind, but this really, really shows how crazy things got towards the end of his tenure. It's insane. It really, really is. And I think we're all better off for Triple H being in charge of creative, us not having to deal with these last minute. I mean, y'all, I can remember it like it was yesterday, of all of the times that I would be covering Monday Night Raw, and like an hour, 2 hours before showtime, there would be a tweet from Meltzer, or there would be a report from Fightful or PW Insider talking about how McMahon he's ripping up the script again, he's making all these changes, and everyone would just roll your eyes. It was truly, truly insane. And he did that, and the shows didn't make any sense, and it was just bad, right? It was just bad, but that's what he did. Now, let's go further into this man's background, because key factors contributing to his WWE departure: allegations of sexual misconduct. There was multiple accusations of sexual misconduct, and related investigations were primarily the catalyst for his downfall. These allegations severely damaged his reputation and put immense pressure on WWE. The loss of creative control. While he initially returned to oversee the sale, McMahon was ultimately stripped of his creative influence in WWE. Ari Emanuel came out and said, hey, this is still Triple H's show. He's running all the creative. He's making all the shots. This was a significant blow to him, as all creative control was a key aspect of his previous power and identity within the company. Also, you obviously had pressure from investors and sponsors. The allegations of negative publicity likely put pressure on WWE's investors and sponsors, further contributing to the need for McMahon to go. Now, keep in mind that he does have a legacy here. And outside of how it ended, he will undeniably be known as someone who helped transform pro wrestling from a niche regional attraction into a global entertainment phenomenon. He was a visionary and a shrewd businessman who built WWE into a powerhouse. Despite his success, McMahon was also controversial. The allegations of misconduct tarnished his legacy and raised some serious questions about the leadership and the behavior of McMahon. In conclusion, Vince McMahon's departure from WWE was a dramatic and absolute insane end to a career that had a profound impact on the world of pro wrestling. While his contributions to the industry are undeniable, they are forever intertwined with the controversies that ultimately led to his downfall. As I said earlier in the day's video, the fact of the matter is this: we are all better off for Vince McMahon not being part of this company anymore. Triple H clearly was the right guy, right? Like, WWE's business, from television to attendance to just really overall interest, has never been hotter, right? This company is on fire. It hasn't been this on fire since the Attitude Era. Like, that's how prolific, that's how much of a big of a deal what he's been able to do with this company is. I am, from a content perspective, from a writer's perspective, all above. I'm very, very grateful for Triple H taking over creative. He is, I mean, y'all don't get it. I mean, I know there's a bunch of tribalism from, AEW fans, WWE fans, but like, thank goodness for AEW coming along. Thank goodness for Triple H taking over, because what Vince McMahon was producing from